Right, hello wine drinking people. Time for more of what I've had to drink yesterday. We're always happy to see our friends from the Noble Estates, Noble Group of Wines, the Jackson portfolio, and we had some really nice stuff on this afternoon. Some top-level Aussie wines, an area that's in trouble. We're buying distressed real estate from Australia, but there's a lot of great stuff coming out, like these new old vines, Grenache and Shiraz wines from Yangarra that do warrant the $100 price tag. Just very hard to move products from Australia at that price when, like I said, you have so much distressed property out there. Well, we started out in New Zealand here, the Jackson Estate wine, the Stitch Sauvignon Blanc here. The Jackson family partnered with the Stitch family, and they've got 17 parcels on 3 different estates here. They vinify everything separately and blend them back together. This Sauvignon Blanc 2014, your typical New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc at $15, man. Amazing the value you can find in New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. This wine's got that lovely tropical fruit, lime, citrus, passion fruit, hints of green herbs. Really bright and savory on the palate. Good amount of that mango, papaya, tropical fruit, and then that zesty lime and grapefruit citrus on the finish. Some mineral notes and that green herbal character also coming in. A very good example of New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc. And a cheap date at $15. The Illuminati Dolcetto di Alba. You know, there's a few grapes I really think, you know, they should rip up and replant with something else. Dolcetto is one of them. For $18.75, you could get yourself some good Barbera from the Piedmont. This wine's got that typical black raspberry fruit, a little tart lemon character there as the wine opens up, some earthy, maybe truffle notes and floral nights, highlights. Light and easy drinking wine, a pleasant Dolcetto, some pretty floral notes and that lemony citrus character at the end. A good wine. Like I said, you know how I feel about Dolcetto, though. All right, the Don Olympia, the 25th anniversary of their wedding, and that's why he named this wine after his wife as a wedding gift. And it's a Bordeaux blend, really light, easy drinking wine. It's $17.25, maybe a little bit too light. There's so many great values coming out of Tuscany, just kind of short on the finish. All right, the San Giorgio Olgaforte, Brunello di Montalcino. This wine, 2010, a great vintage from Brunello. This wine's got that classic red kind of strawberry fruit, dry rose petals, fresh porcini, exotic spices, a little cocoa and menthol coming out on the second day. Nice concentration on the tongue. These 2010s, very well built, a firm hand of tannin, some acidity here as well. This wine is very balanced and will last for 10 or 15 years easily, as will most of the 2010 Brunellos. Excellent juice at $60.75. The Alcance Merlot, wow, this was a big hit at our Merlot tasting at Cafe Max. We threw it in there blind, and yes, somebody picked it out as Chilean Merlot after having an example already poured for them. A very distinct style of Merlot made in Chile, but a lot of people thought it was Bordeaux, which more like Bordeaux definitely than a California Merlot. This one's got a little Cabernet Sauvignon and Petit Verdot in the blend. A little hint of that peppery nuance, the pyrazines you get from Chile, and that coffee to the dark plum fruit there. A little milk chocolate, smooth plush plum and cherry fruit on the tongue with a nice hand of that peppery spice and nuance, and coffee notes from the nose through the finish. Fine tannins, a nice freshness. Everybody thought this wine was one of the more expensive wines on the table. It turned out one of the cheapest wine on the table at $18. Wow, great little value. You've heard me say this many times. You can't beat the value you get from Chile and Argentina when it comes to Bordeaux varietals. The Alcance Cabernet, Val de Central up next. This is 100% varietal. You get a little menthol and a little herbal note there to the cigar box spice, a nice complement of dark currant and plum fruit, a little bitter cocoa. Really nice richness on the tongue. You get those tannins from the Cabernet you didn't get from the Merlot here coming through on the finish, but densely packed, some nice fruits, that nuance from the nose, that menthol cigar box spice lasting through the finish along with the bitter cocoa. Excellent juice at $18. Wow, I like the Cabernet a little better than the Merlot, but both great. And then the High Sands Grenache from McLaren Vale, from vines planted in 1947, all organically farmed. You get a ton per acre here. Thus, the wonderful concentration in this wine. Really bright floral aromas to the fresh berry pie fruit, and even more pronounced on the second day. This wine needs some time to open up. Really thick and richly textured on the tongue. A firm hand of acidity. Smooth and silky tannins, though, and the host of that berry pie fruit and the floral nuance. Really exotic here. Most excellent juice. Like I said, just tough to sell stuff in that $100 plus price range. The Shiraz I like just a little bit better. The Ironheart, and the wine is named after the well, the soils that the wine comes out of, very iron rich. You notice the red color to it. Wonderfully intense here. A little blackberry liqueur, a nice hint of that fresh earth, the ferrous earth, and violet floral notes, sweet balsamic, and explosive on the tongue. This wine very rich and jammy, but still quite fresh and balanced. A bit mouth puckering at the end. This wine needs some time to open up, but everything is in proportion. Most excellent juice at $112. That's what we had to drink with our friends from the Noble group of wines from the Jackson family, Noble Distributors, Jackson family of wines. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying remember, always drink the good stuff first.